Just because some people you think need to change or you notice that there's something in their life that they can do better doesn't mean that they want it. There's a difference. People have to be ready and they have to want it. When you want to change and you want to grow and you want to develop and you genuinely want to do better, you're coachable and you're open to, I wouldn't say suggestions, but you're open to advice from people who have maybe gone through those things or done it. You're open to mentorship. You will look and search and seek areas, blogs or podcasts or sermons or friendships that sharpen you. You will look for those things, and the Bible says, "When you seek, you will find." Most people, if they aren't looking for those things, it doesn't don't even waste your time. If you see that this person's totally closed off, they don't know, they don't want to change, they don't think they're doing anything wrong, they're going to spend the time that you are discussing with them or talking with them, they're going to spend that whole time debating with you like a ping pong, like, well, I think, or well, you, or well, and they're just hitting back on all of these reasons why they can't change or why they can't do something or why this, why that. It's just a list full of excuses. It's better for you just to not even go there. Save your peace. Hold on to your peace. Don't even, you're going to frustrate yourself and not get anywhere. And on the flip side, a lot of times we want to change that person or we want to help that person, but it comes from our own pride of wanting to be right. Well, I want to tell them so I can then say, yeah, see, so I was right. You should have listened to me. I know what I'm talking about. And so you have to genuinely want to see that person change. And when you genuinely want to see them change, it's like you will kind of challenge them. You will sharpen them. You will point out those things. The Bible says that friends should sharpen each other. So should husband and wife. You should want your spouse to be the best version of themselves that they can possibly be. And if they're not, you should call them out on that. Hey, you're sitting too much. Hey, you're eating too much. Hey, you're consuming too much. You're lazy. You're shopping too much. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're being too passive. And this doesn't mean you have to call them out in public and share every little thing about them. I mean, I've had a history of where I would have a friend and we would discuss things about our husband, and then that friend took it and shared it with everybody. You got to be careful who you share things with. But I started realizing that if somebody's not ready to change, they can't even see it. And you could tell them the truth right in front of them and they're like, what do you mean? Like to them, it's a total shocker. And you're like, well, how do you not see this? How do you not see the consequences or the fruits of the results of your decisions? To you, it's like totally obvious. And to them, they have no idea what you're talking about. And the Bible also says that you will know them by their fruits. This isn't money and cars and success and a title. Like, this has nothing to do with that. This is the character. This is how they speak, how they pray, how they talk about others when those people aren't in the room. How do they view the world? How do they view things? Are they grounded by truth, or are they all wishy-washy? Are they is there a lot of confusion? So the things that I always look for is, number one, chaos and confusion always follow lies. So if you are in a relationship or you've got a friendship or just maybe family members, in that person, it's always chaotic and confusion. Like, there's always a twisting. There's always like a tornado or a hurricane or a problem or an issue. It's always twisted, and you leave that space feeling frustrated and stressed. You're like, man, what just happened? You're like totally beat up and exhausted, and you're like, what just happened? I'm so tired and I don't even know. I just talked to that person for an hour. You want to be around people who are gonna, you leave and you're like, man, I'm pumped to change, I'm pumped to do better, I'm pumped to change this, I'm gonna go home and declutter, I'm gonna go for a walk. Like, that's sharpening. And so if you're around the opposite, that's your indicator right there. That's the fruits. That's the indicator that person has things that they need to deal with. And until they get honest with themselves, you exposing it to them is not going to do anything. Very rarely, if you expose something and you do it out of love and you say, well, I'm telling you this because of this, very rarely will that person be like, oh wow, I had really no idea. I'm so Thank you for sharing that with me. And usually that's not the first response. And I have called out people and they've been like, well, what do you think? And here's the things that they'll say. You're judgmental. Don't judge me. Don't judge me and tell me what to do. Like the Bible says, take the plank out of your own eye, and they'll just hit right back. Well, maybe you or you. So they're not coachable. But sometimes you just can say it in a gentle way, and then maybe the following time, and I've had people, the next conversation, they're like, you know what, I really appreciate you calling me out on that. I really appreciate you telling me that. Because when you respect somebody's advice, and this person's coming from a place of wanting to see you do better, then, I just had a friend tell me to get rid of my ripped up jeans. So, I'm like 42 years old. How long am I going to be dressing like I'm in my 20s? I don't know. I mean, I've been wearing ripped up jeans my whole life. And she said, you know what? You can do better. And I just thought, yeah. And that's something that I know, like, yeah, I can do better than these ripped up jeans. I can elevate that area or whatever. And I took it as a thank you for sharpening me. I didn't take it as a oh, well, how dare you? And I got rid of them. And so you have to be open and willing. And if somebody says, hey, I see an area in your life where you can actually do better, and it might be a small thing that might lead to a bigger change. Like maybe this one area changing all of a sudden helps you elevate in another area, and you start feeling more confident and more respected and more sophisticated just with that one little move. And I usually don't have a problem calling people out, like, hey, you're wasting all your time at the thrift store, and I see people, I've had friends that I can see exactly what their issue is. And I'm like, you got to stop that, because if you're drinking soda all day and you're drinking, coffee all day, and then you're wondering why you're not losing weight and why you're feeling, you have to look at, well, it's not some big mystical secret. It's not like this big, we better pray about it. You're in spiritual warfare. No, you're doing it to yourself. It's not always some big spiritual thing. Sometimes it's just like, okay, well, your heart rate's up because you just drank a can of Coke, or whatever. So sometimes it's so obvious, but people don't want to. They don't want you to take away something that they've grown, not just accustomed to, but they've created a bond with. That's really what it is. People create a bond with drugs or drinking or movies, or they create a bond with shopping. They create this bond, and then when you come in, or whoever comes and tries to take it away, you end up being the enemy. Food is a big one. So many people have a bond with food. Maybe they were raised and food is comfort. This is how they ate. Their mom made them, tamales. And, I know because my husband's Hispanic and we deal with this all the time. To him, food is life, it's family, it's comfort, it's joy, it's warmth, it's love. So he takes that and food becomes love. And the reality is the food is destroying, or was, when he was overdoing it, because it was destroying his body and getting him fat and sick. And I'd be like, hey, you're eating too much and you're getting fat and sick. And he'd be like, how dare you tell me that? So then I become the enemy, because you're pointing out, well, you're eating too much. It's because you're attacking something that they've created this soul tie with. And if you're not careful, that becomes an idol. It becomes the first thing that you go to for comfort. This is why women, they go to shopping, or they go to something that feels good. So I used to go to chocolate. If I had a really stressful day, I would just overeat brownies or chocolate. Like that was my stress relief, but to the point where I couldn't control it. I couldn't just have like a little piece of dark chocolate. It was like I had to eat so much of it. That was my go-to thing. And I know people who, they're like, I get up in the middle of the night, I'm craving cookies, and they can't control it. You first of all, you have to figure out what's triggering it. So for my husband, it's his link to love and family and joy and comfort is all wrapped around food. And the problem is that whole culture, 99% of the culture in his family, and if you go down to Mexico, they're all overweight. Most of them are overweight. You don't see this really healthy, vibrant life. You see a lot of obesity. You see a lot of overeating and a lot of drinking and a lot of partying, and they're having fun. And so that becomes their way of life. right now God's like stripping away things. So he wants you to cut those things that you have made an idol in your life, that you go to for comfort. This is the refining part. Refining is not like, oh, well, just, give this up. And I'm not saying you have to fast from everything and you have to just completely get rid of everything. But refining is, in its nature, uncomfortable. You're burning off these things that have been attached to you. But through that process, it's completely liberating. Your body responds to it, your environment responds to it, everything starts responding in a more pure way, because you're cutting off all of the unnecessary fat. You're burning off the things that are actually weighing you down. So the things that are not producing fruit, he's trying to burn off. It's trying to free you, really. You're walking around with this big anchor going, why don't I feel good? Well, why do my joints hurt? Well, because you've got so much weight and pressure pushing on your joints. Why else do they work? Don't get on, then you're getting on medication, you're doing all these things. The best detox isn't getting on a green juice cleanse or taking Ozempic. The best detox is getting rid of fat. And fat is burned actually through your breath. So it's not like you have to, we make it so much harder than what it actually is. But getting rid of unnecessary fat, okay, you have to have some fat, of course. But if you are in that 30% of your body fat, you're obese. The best way to detox is to get rid of the fat. So especially if you have visceral fat, that's suffocating your organs, making all of these other areas. It's one thing that is linking to so many other things. And we're at a time right now where God's like, when are you going to correct this behavior? When are you going to stop being like a fool? When are you going to stop hoping for different results, but continuing to put the same things in your mouth and doing the same thing and watching the same thing and going to the same places and complaining and talking about the same thing and gossiping and then wondering why you're having all of these things happen to you? So we have to simplify, get it under control, and this is why you have to want it. This is why if you see, well, you might see this person has a lot of potential to be better. There's always room for improvement. I mean, I'm trying to improve every single day. Well, what can I do? Last year I had a trainer all the time and he was kicking my butt training me. Well, I don't have him this year. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? So I got a rebounder. If you haven't used a rebounder, this is really good on your joints. I have it sitting in my living room. I have to walk by it. I'll trip over it if I don't jump on it to get by it. So it's right in the middle of my living room. So I jump on it. And then I thought, okay, well, now I have this rebounder. I'm going to put in my headphones. I got rid of my ear pods, finally. People kept calling me out on it. But actually, they were kind of giving me kind of a headache. So now I just use the regular headphones. And now I got little weights to do. And now I do little exercises. And I say, I'm going to listen to this one song. Nobody bother me. And I'm going to work out and bounce and do it. And so what I'll do is I'll do like 10 of those sets throughout the day. I'm listening to the songs like, let's say 10 times. Well, I just got 10 mini workouts on my way to do the laundry. Let's say the song's 3 minutes. So here I am bouncing, working out. I'm sweating, and I'm feeling good. And then I'm going to switch the laundry. And I come back, get a drink of water. And then I'm like, I'm going to do this again. And especially in the morning, if you can do this and stretch, your rebounding is so good for your lymphatic system. It's the only system in your body that doesn't have a pump. And so it just helps you drain and it helps things get moving. The only people that's really not good for is if you do have a really bad back or discs because of the bouncing. But other than that, it's a game changer. So what I did a year ago, I'm not doing anymore, but I still need to stay active and stay in shape. Yeah, I'm not putting on as much. I'm not getting ripped like I was, but I'm keeping things moving and I'm keeping my body feeling good. So the point is that there's always something that you can do if you're open and willing to change. Now, if I was like, I'm not doing anything until I, can get that trainer again and hire him again, well, I'm only hurting myself. So you have to be open and willing to say, okay, well, let's pivot. What can I do? What can I change? And what can I remove that's not producing fruit? I go through my schedule every week. What did I do last week that I need to not do this week? That's really didn't give me any joy, any peace. It didn't help my family. It didn't produce. It's just not working. Let that go. And then I start thinking, okay, what are the things that I can do better on, and like kind of stack. So can I post more on my Instagram? Sure, I could do that. Is that producing fruit? Yeah, I get paid, so I might as well do it. Can I prepare meals in advance, get up an hour early? Yes. So getting up a little bit early, if you have kids, helps you get things going. So what I do is I just kind of shift things around and make sure that I'm putting my time into doing what's working. And I always keep people around, or the friendships that I know, these are ones that you respect what they say. So I could reach out to them and say, hey, what do you think about this? Should I get rid of this? What do you think about this? Help me, let's help sharpen each other. And they'll text me out of the blue, hey, what do you think about this? And I'll respond, yeah, do that, do this. And so that's the kind of relationships that you want, because you're helping each other run your race. That's a beautiful friendship, beautiful relationship. So don't waste the time trying to help people that don't want to help themselves. If they don't want to do it, leave them. Pray for them. You can cover them in prayer, but ultimately it takes a change of heart. It takes them getting honest with themselves, and that can take years. People are in denial about their habits and lives. They will fight you. They will do everything they can to justify their behavior, to justify what they do. Like they have to overly explain it to you, write you a whole book about why they do what they do. Okay, if that works for you, great. You don't have to convince me. Your results are telling the truth, so you don't have to convince me. And the same goes for you. Don't try to convince people. If you need to change. Do what you got to do. But you have to want it. Like you have to want to do better. It's just, anyways, have a great day, everybody.